Welcome back to Ma'am Jessa's class. In this video, aaralin natin quadratic inequality in one variable. This is based again on the most essential learning competencies from DepEd. Our objectives in this lesson, the learner should be able to define quadratic inequalities, illustrate quadratic inequalities, and solve quadratic inequalities. So, what is quadratic inequality in one variable? So, one variable lang muna tayo ngayon. So, it is an inequality in one variable that contain a polynomial of degree 2 that can be written in the following form. So, meaning the highest exponent is 2. Bakit one variable? The only letter that you can see is x. So, we have ax squared plus bx plus c is greater than 0. We have ax squared plus bx plus c is less than 0. Ax squared plus bx plus c is greater than or equal to 0. And we have ax squared plus bx plus c is less than or equal to 0. And a, b, and c are real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. So, bawal maging value ni a is 0, katulad ng ating quadratic equation. And then, these are examples of quadratic inequality in one variable. We have 2x squared plus 5x plus 1 is greater than 0. We have x squared plus x is greater than 2. And x squared minus 8 is less than negative 2x. And x squared plus 6x plus 5 is less than or equal to 0. We have square of binomial x minus 3 is less than 9. And we have x plus 5 times x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 0. So, as you can see, they all have inequality symbol. So, lahat sila may inequality symbol and the highest exponent is 2. No? So, yun yung makikita mong highest exponent sa kanila. And in this example, x plus 5 times x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 0. If you do the FOIL method, magiging highest exponent nila ay 2. Then, these are things to remember in graphing and solving quadratic inequality. So, if the symbol is greater than, may underline o walang underline, basta greater than, the graph should be union or extreme. O ang magiging itsura ng graph natin ay ganyan. So, ganito magiging itsura ng graph, no? And then, if the symbol is less than, may guhit sa ilalim o wala, basta less than, no? Our graph will be align segment, no? Align segment. Ang magiging itsura niya ay ganyan. So, ganito magiging itsura ng graph natin dapat. Then, if the symbol is greater than or less than, so meaning wala silang underline pareho, no? Our graph should be open dot. And our solution set should be enclosed in parentheses. And if the symbol is greater than or equal and less than or equal, so meaning may underline yung symbol, our graph should be closed dot or solid dot. And our solution set should be enclosed in a bracket. In open dot, the point that lies on it are not part of the solution. So, hindi kasama yung point na yon as solution sa ating given inequality. And if it is a solid dot, the point that lies on it is part of the solution. So, kapag naman solid dot, ibig sabihin yung point na naka-lie doon sa ating solid dot, it means yung point na yun is part of the solution or included as a solution. So, here are our steps in graphing and solving quadratic inequality. We have to change the inequality symbol into equal sign. So, magkakaroon tayo ng quadratic equation. and then rewrite into standard form of quadratic equation if necessary. Kung hindi naka-standard form, i-rewrite natin into standard form. And solve the equation using any of the four methods. So, since kapag change natin into equal sign yung ating quadratic inequality, so magiging quadratic equation yon. So, ngayon, para ma-solve natin yun, gagamitin natin yung four methods. Ano ba yung four methods natin? We have extracting square root, completing the square, factoring, or quadratic formula. So, kahit alin doon, as long as convenient for you, pwede nyong gamitin. And then, plot or graph the obtained solution on the number line. So, yung point na makukuha natin, yun yung i-graph natin or ipa-plot natin sa ating number line. And then, substitute a point to a given inequality. So, magkakaroon tayo ng test point, no? Kukuha tayo ng isang point para i-test if magto-true or mag-false. So, meaning, pag nag-true, those are solutions. No? Pag hindi nag-true or nag-false, hindi solution. And then we have to shade the region where the solution or the point satisfy the given inequality. So, pag nag-true, isi-shade. Kapag hindi nag-true or pag nag-false, hindi isi-shade. So, pag true, inuulit ko, isi-shade.
Example number 1, x squared plus x minus 2 is greater than 0. So, titingnan natin ang ating inequality symbol which is greater than. So, it means our graph should be union or extreme. It should be open dot. And the solution set should be enclosed in a parenthesis. Ang sabi sa step, we have to rewrite the inequality or we have to change the inequality into equal sign. So, therefore, magkakaroon tayo ng quadratic equation, which is x squared plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. And then, kukunin natin yung solution netong x squared plus x minus 2 is equal to 0 by using factoring. So, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang binomials. Kukunin natin yung factors na bubuo dyan sa ating binomial. So, titingnan natin yung first term which is x squared. So, ang x squared, ang factor niya ay x times x. And then, yung negative 2, titingnan natin anong factor ng negative 2 na kapag in-add natin ay positive 1, which is yung value ng v. And kapag minultiply natin ay negative 2, which is yung ating value ng c. So, we have 2 and negative 1. So, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 and 2 plus negative 1 is positive 1. So, therefore, ang kukumpleto sa ating binomials ay positive 2 and negative 1. So, ang factor ng x squared plus x minus 2 is equal to 0 ay x plus 2 times x minus 1 is equal to 0. And then, we have to equate this equation, no? So, yung tinatawag nating zero product property. So, magkakaroon tayo ng x plus 2 is equal to 0 and x minus 1 is equal to 0 or pinaghiwalay natin. Then, we have to transpose 2 sa kabilang side or sa right side of the equation or yung tinatawag nating addition or subtraction property of equality. So, magkakaroon tayo ng x is equal to negative 2. And dito naman sa kabila, itatranspose natin si negative 1. So, magkakaroon tayo ng x is equal to 1 or positive 1. So, therefore, we have 2 points, negative 2 and positive 1. So, ayan yung ipa-plot natin sa ating number line. At ang sabi, it should be open dot. So, therefore, dapat open dot yan pag pinlat natin. So, negative 2, ayan. And then, positive 1, ayan. So, kung makikita nyo, magkakaroon tayo ng tatlong region. Ito yon. Unang region. Ito naman yung second region. And this is the third region. So, magsasubstitute tayo ng any point from these regions, no? Kung ano yung magsasatisfy dito sa ating given inequality. Kapag nag-satisfy or kapag nag-true, isi-shade natin yung region. So, ibig sabihin, kapag na-shade natin yung region, the points that lie on that region are part of the solution. So, ibig sabihin mga solution siya nung given quadratic inequality. Kapag nag-false, no, yung sinubstitute nating point from that region, it means hindi yun solution. Hindi natin isi-shade yung region na yun. Hindi solution yung mga points na nandun. So, let's try negative 3 in this region. So, isa-substitute natin yung negative 3 sa lahat ng x dito sa ating quadratic inequality. So, we will have negative 3 squared plus negative 3 minus 2 is greater than 0. And then simplify, negative 3 squared is 9 plus negative 3 minus 2 is greater than 0. So, therefore, 9 plus negative 3 minus 2 is 4 is greater than 0. So, is 4 greater than 0? Yes. So, therefore, true. Nag-true dito sa region na to. It means, i-shade natin tong region na to. So, i-shade natin. So, therefore, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, and so on and so forth are part of the solutions na itong ating given inequality. So, let's try in this region is 0. So, x is equal to 0. So, substitute natin yung 0 sa lahat ng x, no? So, we will have 0 squared plus 0 minus 2 is greater than 0. Siyempre, 0 to. So, negative 2 is negative 2 greater than 0? False. So, therefore, hindi natin isi-shade tong region na to. So, therefore, then, si negative 1 and si 0 are not part of the solution. So, hindi sila solution ng given inequality natin. So, let's try in this region ay yung 2. So, yan. So, x is equal to 2. Substitute natin yung 2 sa lahat ng x. So, we will have 2 squared plus 2 minus 2 is greater than 0. So, simplify, 2 squared is 4 plus 2 minus 2 is greater than 0. So, 4 plus 2 minus 2 is 4 greater than 0. So, 4 is 4 greater than 0? Yes. So, therefore, isi-shade natin tong region na to. So, it means that this region, 2, 3, 4, 5, yung mga points na yan, and so on and so forth, are part of the solution. So, ibig sabihin solution lahat ng mga points na nandito at saka dito sa mga points na nandito, solution netong ating quadratic inequality x squared plus x minus 2 is greater than 0. Ang sabi natin kanina doon, pag open that, the point that lies on that graph is not part of the solution. So, therefore, negative 2 and positive 1 are not part of the solution. So, hindi sila solution netong given inequality. Hindi sila magsasatisfy sa ating given inequality. Kaya sila open that. So, therefore, ang ating solution set for x squared plus x minus 2 is greater than 0 ay negative infinity, negative 2, close interval union, close interval 1, positive infinity. So, ayan yung ating graph and solution set for our given quadratic inequality x squared plus x minus 2 is greater than 0. So, let's try number 2 example. X squared plus 2x minus 8 is less than 0. So, titingnan ulit natin ang ating given inequality, which is less than. So, therefore, our graph should be line segment. It should be open dot kasi walang underline, no? And our graph or our solution should be enclosed in a parenthesis. So, we have to change the inequality symbol into equal sign. So, magkakaroon tayo ng quadratic equation x squared plus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. And then, kukunin natin yung solution na itong quadratic equation na to by using factoring. So, magkakaroon ulit tayo ng dalawang binomial. So, titignan natin yung first term which is x squared. Anong factor ng x squared? Siyempre, x times x. And then, yung last term which is negative 8. Anong factor ng negative 8 na kapag inad natin ay positive 2 which is yung value ng ating b. And kapag minultiply naman natin ay negative 8 which is yung value ng ating c. So, the factors are 4 and negative 2. So, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 and 4 plus negative 2 is 2. So, therefore, 4 and negative 2 ang kukumpleto sa ating binomial. So, we will have x plus 4 times x minus 2 is equal to 0. And then, we have to equate this equation into 0 or the zero product property. Paghihiwalayin natin. So, x plus 4 is equal to 0 and x minus 2 is equal to 0. Transpose natin si 4 or yung tinatawag nating addition or subtraction property of equality. So, we will have x is equal to negative 4 and dito naman sa kabila, negative 2 itatranspose natin. So, magkakaroon tayo ng x is equal to 2. So, therefore, ang mga points na ating ipa-plot sa ating number line ay negative 4 and 2. And ang sabi, it should be open dot. Bakit open dot ulit? Kasi walang underline to, no? Or walang equal. Ang less than lang siya. So, i-plot natin si negative 4 and then si positive 2. O, yan. Dapat open dot. And then, magkakaroon ulit tayo ng tatlong region. So, etong region na to, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, and so on and so forth. And in this region, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. Ayan naman sa region na yan. And then, in this region ay 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So, let's try or substitute negative 5 from this region, no? So, we have negative 5 sa substitute natin sa ating x, sa lahat ng x dito sa ating given quadratic inequality. So, magkakaroon tayo ng negative 5 squared plus 2 times negative 5 minus 8 is less than 0. So, simplify, 25 minus 10 minus 8 is less than 0. So, 25 galing sa negative 5 squared. Etong 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So, 25 minus 10 minus 8 is 7. So, therefore, is 7 less than 0? False. So, syempre, hindi. No? So, hindi natin isi-shade to dahil nag-false. Now, try tayo dito sa region na to. Ang itatry natin ulit ay 0. So, x is equal to 0. So, papalitan natin yung x ng 0. No? So, we will have 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 8 is less than 0. So, siyempre, 0 to. Matitiran tayo ng negative 8 less than 0. Is negative 8 less than 0? Yes. So, therefore, nag-true. So, therefore, ito ay ating isi-shade. So, dahil sinade natin yan or dahil nag-true sa region na to, ibig sabihin, etong region na to ay part of the solution. Next, let's try 3 in this region. So, x is equal to 3. So, substitute natin yung 3 sa lahat ng x. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 3 squared plus 2 times 3 minus 8 is less than 0. So, simplify. 3 squared is 9. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 8 is less than 0. So, 9 plus 6 minus 8 is 7. No? Is 7 less than 0? No. So, false. Nag-false dito sa region na to. So, it means hindi natin i-shade etong region na to. So, ang solution lang natin ay negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. Hindi kasama si negative 4 at 2. Bakit? Kasi nga, open dot yon. It means that this point, negative 4 and 2, are not part of the solution. Hindi sila included as solution. So, therefore, ang ating magiging solution set ay enclosed negative 4, 2. So, let's try number 3 example. X squared plus 6x plus 5 is less than or equal to 0. Inulit ko, ang basa dito ay less than or equal. So, tingnan natin ulit yung ating inequality. Ulit, which is less than or equal. No? So, therefore, our graph should be line segment kasi nga less than siya. No? And then, it should be closed dot. Bakit closed dot? Or solid dot? Kasi may underline. Then, our solution set should be enclosed in a bracket. No? So, let's change the inequality symbol into equal sign, which is magkakaroon tayo ng quadratic equation na x squared plus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. Then, kunin natin yung solution neto by factoring. So, ang magiging factors niyan, kukunin natin. So, dahil magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang binomial, so, ang factor ng x squared ay x times x. And then, tignan natin yung last term, which is positive 5. So, anong factor ng positive 5 na kapag in-add natin ay 6, which is yung value ng b, at kapag minultiply natin ay positive 5, which is yung value ng ating c. So, we have 5 and 1. So, 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 plus 1 is 6. So, therefore, yun yung kukumpleto sa ating binomial. So, we will have x plus 5 and x plus 5 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. And then, we have to equate them into 0 or the zero product property. So, magkakaroon tayo ng x plus 5 is equal to 0 and x plus 1 is equal to 0. So, pinaghiwalay natin. Then, transpose natin si 5 or yung addition or subtraction property of equality. So, magkakaroon tayo ng x is equal to negative 5. And dito naman sa kabila, magkakaroon tayo ng x is equal to negative 1. So, therefore, si negative 5 and negative 1 ang ating i-graph sa ating number line or ipa-plot natin sa ating number line. So, we have negative 5 and negative 1. They should be close dot. So, may shade yung bilog natin. So, magkakaroon tayo for negative 5 and for negative 1. And it should be a line segment. Dahil nga sabi kanina. So, therefore, etong gitna na to or etong region na to ang ating isi-shade. Katulad ng mga example natin kanina. So, therefore, ang ating solution set ay enclosed negative 5, negative 1. Let's try number 4. X squared plus 2x minus 15 is greater than or equal to 0. So, tingnan ulit natin ang ating inequality symbol which is greater than or equal. So, therefore, the graph should be extreme or union. It should be closed dot or solid dot. And the solution set should be enclosed in a bracket. So, we have to change the inequality symbol into equal sign. So, therefore, magkakaroon tayo ng quadratic equation na x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. Then, kukunin natin yung factors niyan, no, by factoring. Yung solution, kukunin natin by factoring. So, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang binomials. So, ang binomials natin, syempre, titingnan natin yung first term, which is x squared. So, anong factor ng x squared? Na kapag, syempre, ang factor niyan ay x times x. And then, yung last term, which is negative 15. Anong factor ng negative 15 na kapag in-add natin ay positive 2, which is yung value ng ating b. And kapag minultiply naman natin ay negative 15, which is yung value ng ating c. So we have 5 and negative 3. So therefore, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15 and 5 plus negative 3 is 2. And then, ang kukumpleto sa ating binomial ay positive 5 and negative 3. So therefore, we have x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 3 is equal to 0. And then we have to equate this equation into 0. So the zero product property, x plus 5 is equal to 0 para dito. And then x minus 3 is equal to 0 para dito, or pinaghiwalay natin. And then transpose natin si 5. So magkakaroon tayo ng x is equal to negative 5. And then dito naman sa kabila, magkakaroon tayo ng positive 3. So therefore, ang ipa-plot natin sa ating number line ay negative 5 and 3. And they should be a closed dot, no? So dapat closed dot sila or solid dot. So pag pinlat natin sila sa ating number line for negative 5 and for positive 3. Ang sabi, union sila. O ang graph natin should be union or extreme. So therefore, ang isi-shade natin ay etong region na to, no? At saka etong region na to. It means that the points that lie on this region at saka dito are part of the solution. So, solution yung 4, 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. At saka negative 6, 7, negative 8, so on and so forth. And yung negative 5 at saka yung positive 3 kasi sila ay closed dot. So, they are also part of the solution. So, therefore, ang ating solution set will be negative infinity, negative 5, close interval union, close interval 3, positive infinity.